Okay, I just want to record some thoughts because this is something that I don't think I've possibly ever heard mothers talk about very much, but it's like a very real thing. Well, actually, I've only heard mothers talk about it really like when their kid moves from babyhood to toddlerhood, like on the first birthday, for sure. And I've heard about it very vaguely in terms of like your kids starting school. But I'm just like talking to a couple of friends over the last few months whose kids are the same age as Ellie, and they're starting prep this like next year, in January. And this for most of my friends, this is their first kid who's going to school. Obviously, this will be my second kid because Leo's already at school. And I just want to like share some thoughts on it because everyone is going through this mother grief of just, it's like a really complex thing, a very complex set of emotions. It's not just about grief either. There's like a lot of guilt that comes into it of like, did I do enough when my child was home? And am I doing enough now? And how will they cope? And did I do things right? And but then the grief aspect is, this is coming to an end and I'm not going to see my kids all day every day. I'm not going to be the only important adult in their life. I'm not going to be controlling everything, and I don't have this, I'm not able to, have the same effect on my child possibly that I used to. And I don't know why people don't talk about it now, but I feel like I experienced it like particularly badly when Leo started school, and I am experiencing it now with Ellie starting school. And because I know that my friends are also going through a similar thing, I thought that I would do a video and talk about it, and just talk about like what you can do to reassure yourself and the reality. I think, as mothers, we can kind of get caught up in our minds a little bit and make things bigger or worse or more intense than what they have to be. Or, I suppose I'm mostly just really completely talking for myself, and I couldn't speak for anyone else, but leave a comment in the comments below if you can relate or if you understand what I'm saying even. But there's all these emotions that come with your kids starting school. And I remember when each of my kids on their first birthday, like the day they turned 1, I was just like a complete mess of crying and crying and crying. And my husband thought I was like completely mad, right? But that was grief that in some ways for some children it was sort of relief that this very intense and very difficult period was over. But also it was just like the grief of like, oh my gosh, my kid is 1, I don't really have a baby anymore, they're going to start walking, or maybe they've already started walking, or all this different stuff. And it's really intense emotions. And I don't think I have in my mothering journey, other than like at that 1 year mark, I don't think I've experienced it again until starting school. Okay? For me with Leo, this manifested as wanting to keep him home to homeschool him for this first year of school. And I had a lot of actual legitimate reasons to do that and to want to do that and why that would be best for him. It wasn't what he wanted, and I think I possibly, even though that would have been a good thing to do, I would have just delayed this grief. So it's irrelevant how long your kid's been home for. It's the changing of season from being at home full time to, or part time if your kid has gone to kindy, anything like that, to them going to school full time and having a teacher. Because, by the way, kids in lower primary school love their teachers. They like, I have memories of accidentally calling my teacher's mum, you know, and I'm sure Leo's done that probably as well because he has an amazing teacher. But yeah, it's just a really intense time, and I think that if you are going through that really intense time, you should know that you're not alone and that this is totally normal and totally okay, and you don't have to feel like you're weird or like you shouldn't be feeling this way. Like, you should be happy that your kid is growing up and that they're getting to do new things. Like, yes, that would be great, and if you are, awesome. I'm sure part of you is. For me, part of me was excited for them and was excited that they were growing up, and I felt really proud of them and all of these things. This motherhood grief that you experience when your child goes to school is not so much about your child going to school and more about you losing this time with your child, and the complexities, as I mentioned at the beginning, of feeling like, did I do enough? Did I spend enough time with them? Am I spending enough time with them now? All of that kind of stuff. So I think that it's important to just embrace the way you feel, to embrace the uncertainty, to embrace the complexity of how you're feeling and all the different layers, to let your emotions out. If you need to just cry and cry and cry, do that. Just don't let your kid see you doing that, so you don't want to make them feel bad that they're making mummy cry, or be scared about what they're going to do. But yeah, I think you just want to embrace this feeling, experience it, and then you can hopefully move forward from it and be ready, you know. You probably might cry again on the first day of school. Again, don't let your kids see you doing that. Most schools have, you know, like a time after you've dropped your kid off for all the mothers to get together. At one school we went to, it was like tears and tissues time after you drop your kid off. So it was like literally understood that every mother was also feeling this, and that it was, you know, a chance for you to talk it out with other mothers and your friends. So I think also talk to your friends about it. If you have other people who are in this stage of life, embrace that, and really just talk to them, and, you know, find a relatable person in this situation. Your husband may or may not be very much able to relate to you in this situation, and that is okay. So I think that's all I want to say. I've probably got to get in to go to work now, so I'll leave the video here, and I just wanted to say that if you are feeling this way, that's okay. It's totally normal to grieve a change of season in your child's life, and it is okay also to feel guilty for things that you have or haven't done in the previous season. A lot of that is in your head. A lot of that is not something you really need to worry about. You know, chill out, try to embrace it, try to enjoy it, and just, you know, hopefully you can go through this process before the week before school, and so you'll have a chance to like enjoy your last stage with them home full time. Alright, thanks for watching.